Ready to put that tax return towards the purchase of a vehicle? The Team Automotive Group can help you maximize your refund's value. Choose from over 450 certified and pre-owned vehicles, with over 40 priced under $15,000. Stop by and save at any location or log on anytime to teamautouse.com.
I made a promise I couldn't keep.
Uh-oh, what's that?
Liz.
Oh, yeah.
She, maybe Friday? Monday? She'll be back, though. We know that's the only reason you watch. Well, that and Steve's forecast. I'm just filling up a suit. Welcome to The Plus, everybody. 9:15 every Monday through Friday here on WAFB's 9 News Now and The Plus. This Monday and Friday have seemed to play out very similar to the last week and the last. It's warm, and today was first day of astronomical spring.
Meteorological.
There it is.
I know, it's tricky, right? The meteorological season is a little easier to remember. We start them on the first day of given months.
That's
so
easy enough.
Meteorological spring is March, April, May. First day of March through the last day of May. That's
Makes
it.
sense. There you go.
And
Done.
then meteorological summer against June 1, and
There you
so
go.
on and so on.
Sure.
The astronomical spring, a few weeks away.
Oh, great.
All right, your head's spinning now.
Mine is. Good thing we'll leave it to the professor. But regardless of what day it is, man, it's warm.
It is, yeah. It's been spring now for, 10 days or more, it seems like, here in South Louisiana. Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about that warmth in just a moment. Outside right now, good deal of cloud cover, kind of filtered sunshine, some sun breaking through the clouds. Even with that cloud cover that we have seen this morning, though, temperatures have been warming up fairly quickly. Let's see what's going on with my computer here, why we're not advancing. I had tested this moments ago and it was working. There we go. All right, so let me back this up now. Here's a look at temperatures. 77 degrees in Baton Rouge, already running a little bit ahead of where I thought we would be, even with the clouds overhead. Gonzales, Hammond, 76 New Roads right now at 74 degrees. All right, now here is a look at today's forecast. Ahead to 81 at noon. Given we're 77 right now, decent chance we'll be even above that. 86 for our high today. That would tie the record. And again, given trends of where we are right now, would not be a shock at all. Get a little bit above that and set a new record. So that would make it 6 out of the last 7 days with record-setting or record-tying warmth here in Baton Rouge. Today's going to likely make it at least 10 straight days of highs 80 or above. So back to the point, even though meteorological spring only begins today and astronomical spring still down the road, spring's been here for a while. Looks like we still got a little more on the way. All right, let's give you a look at what to expect with future clouds and radar. We think the cloud's going to break up a bit. Now you see an occasional blip showing up here, future radar. I think we'll stay mainly dry. We can't rule out a stray shower, but rain chances are pretty slim on into the afternoon. You see partly cloudy, and if indeed we get a good deal of sunshine, much like yesterday, could sneak up into the upper 80s. Got up to 87 yesterday, tying the record. And into the early evening, partly cloudy, but then those clouds will start to fill back in tonight. It's a repetitive pattern like we've seen the last several days. Those clouds will fill back in, the bases will lower a bit, but there should be enough wind to where there's not much of a fog issue. All right, so just a spotty shower or two today, tomorrow, but giving you a first alert still to that storm potential by early Friday morning. We jump ahead to tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, 6 o'clock here on the Futurecast. And while stray showers are not out of the question during the day tomorrow, still mainly dry Thursday. By midnight now, headed into Friday, starting to see some storms showing up in western Louisiana. Those continue marching eastward, but you get the idea. Number one, kind of looks like a narrow band of rain and some embedded storms moving in. Number two, we don't see a whole lot of intense activity with this system. So the cold front approaching during the overnight hours, that's going to be our best opportunity for rain, roughly midnight through about 6 or 7 a.m. Friday. Those showers and storms continue quickly eastward, so that by daybreak Friday, we should, in most areas, start to dry out. Skies clear out and really turns into a beautiful day. Breezy, if not a bit windy on Friday in the wake of that front. So given the trends we just showed you there, not a surprise that the Storm Prediction Center has lowered the severe weather threat locally. So now areas near and south of the interstates under a 1 out of 5 marginal risk of severe weather, primarily late Thursday night, early Friday. And then in yellow, just north of Baton Rouge, 2 out of 5 slight risk. However, while it's a lowered risk locally, the threat has actually been upgraded up around the Arklatex. Now 4 out of 5 moderate risk. In addition, if you can make out the black lines, that hatching, we've got an area, a pretty broad area, extends from Dallas, Shreveport, Little Rock to near Memphis, where that hatching is outlined on the map, indicating the Storm Prediction Center thinks could even have a few strong tornadoes within that area. So while we look to, I think, largely make out okay with this next system, could be a much different story, not that far to our north and northwest. Something to keep in mind if you're traveling up that way as well. And in terms of rain, with it being such a narrow line potentially and moving through here quickly, rain not going to amount to a whole lot. Weather Prediction Center showing a 1/4 inch or less on average. Mid to upper 80s today and tomorrow. We're going to be very close, if not setting a new record high today. Tomorrow, the record should be safe, the record 93, but still going to be awfully warm. Then we'll get a little bit of rain early Friday, and it gets a little bit cooler. One thing we'll note here, if you've been paying attention the last couple of days, the weekend temperatures have been trending a little bit milder, not as cool as what we initially showed, but it still will be cooler than where we have been. Highs mid to upper 70s Friday through Sunday, and morning low Saturday and Sunday closer to 50 degrees. You'll definitely notice that. But those temperatures rebound pretty quickly early next week. We're already back into the 80s by Monday. First half of next week, it looks like more 80s, small rain chances. Might get a stronger cold front late next week that could deliver a more significant cool down late next week on into that following weekend, Matt.
What happened to my 40s?
You know, if you
West Coast,
head
East
up,
Coast right now?
head up towards maybe like Clinton, St. Francisville.
It's right there.
You don't have to go far to
No,
find them.
you're right. You don't. I don't have any friends up there. I don't have any friends most places. Can you help me out?
So somebody in St. Francisville, one of those beautiful homes up there, send Matt a weekend invite so he can enjoy some
See,
40s.
there you go.
A cup of coffee out on the porch.
Just, right? No, stop. It's going to be a good weekend, actually. It's looking great. Cap, thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, folks, so the headline makers there, always weather in our part of the world. This, I tell you, man, an absolute headline maker. As you kind of maybe went to bed last night, you were beginning to hear about this. Perhaps when you woke up this morning, you were certainly hearing about this. A train crash. We've been following a big one, obviously, in Ohio, right? We know about the chemical spill there, all the issues. This is Greece. This is deadly. The very latest right now, and actually let me bring up some video for you because it's just, the pictures don't quite do it. The video tells a bit more of the story. At last count, 36 people dead, close to 100. It's upwards of 90 right now injured. These numbers expected to keep climbing. Here's what officials in Greece say happened. A passenger train carrying hundreds of people coming back from kind of carnival celebrations from over the weekend and into Monday, that kind of thing, slammed into, at high speed, a freight train. Derailment obviously happening. And again, right now the count is dozens killed, nearly 90 injured. As those crews are still out there, those numbers expected to rise. The very latest is a Greek station master has been arrested after this deadly crash. Station master in a nearby town. Also, 2 other people detained with all of this. What that leads to, not quite sure yet, obviously, as this investigation goes on. But the big takeaway is obviously that deadly crash. 36 lives lost. That's the last official count. Just absolutely horrific. The very latest, waiting for you right here, WAFB.com and the 9 News app. The global headline that a lot of folks are going to be waking up to today. Let's get you back into Baton Rouge. Actually, this started popping this morning about 5:30. A couple of fires. The Baton Rouge Fire Department was working. First one was 5:30 this morning-ish. It was vacant, an abandoned house near Plank. It's on Duke Street near Plank. You know where that is? Again, vacant. And so you hear vacant, abandoned house, and almost immediately you begin to think possibly arson. Routinely, it is classified as that potentially before they make any determination. They actually have, within the last 15 or so minutes, come back in, BRFD says, and that one is being ruled right now an arson. So an arson investigation underway. That was the first one. But while they're on scene at that one, this one pops off. This is up in the Scotlandville area, Oriole Street. You know where that is? It's actually not too far away. It's just, 3, 4, 5, half a dozen blocks from the campus of Southern University. And this one takes out a restaurant, which is what they were trying. It was a kitchen of a neighborhood restaurant right there, 1300 block of Oriole Street, straight out of Scotland. You know the restaurant, straight out of Scotland? Well, it's being considered a total loss right now, according to BRFD. Also, there's a couple of duplexes connected to it that took on some damage, but houses beyond that, the FD was able to put the flames out before it stretched to that distance. There was, though, a neighbor nearby a house that had to be treated for some smoke inhalation. That right now seems to be the only injury related to either of these fires. The very latest on the investigation to come, obviously, as we continue the conversations with FD and their investigators. We'll let you know, obviously, right here, WAFB.com and the 9 News app, updating you on broadcasts as well. But yeah, a couple of fires working hard this morning. This is over today. The boosted COVID-19 SNAP benefits, they've been in place since essentially the pandemic began, right? It was additional money to get food on the table for folks who might not be able to go to work because of all the issues during the pandemic, certainly at the very beginning stages. That is now coming to an end. Again, let me make sure everybody understands this. This is not SNAP benefits coming to an end. This is the emergency SNAP benefits, the extra dollars that have been put into place and have been going on now for a few years. That is now coming to an end. Millions of Americans across the country are going to be impacted by this. Some potentially upwards of $200 to $250 a month, the ability to get some more food on the table. So this is going to impact a lot of folks. If that is you, and you have some questions, this story is waiting for you in the 9 News app and WAFB.com. We're going to push it up pretty high because we know this could impact a lot of folks. And we got a bunch of meat and potatoes about the story right here, so you can read all about that. But once you get through all this, once you scroll through all this and read up about what's going on, here at the very bottom of the story, you're going to find a couple links that may be helpful for you. DCFS emergency allotment, facts and checks, that kind of thing, and changes to the SNAP benefit amounts for this year, 2023. Those links are going to take you to a spot where you can maybe learn a little bit more, how it might impact you, what recourse you have, all that waiting for you right there. That story, WAFB.com, the 9 News app. This popping off today, actually going on right now. Welcome to Women's History Month here. It's March 1. And actually, for the 4th year in a row now, Junior League of Baton Rouge is gearing up for a pretty big event. When they talk about a women's leadership conference, it's again going on right now, bringing in some big time speakers. Actually, let me show you this. You know what this is? You know what that is? Jennifer Hyman. Do you know her business, Rent the Runway? It is $1 billion business. I mean, she's got it going on. It's got a lot of women a part of this. Rent the Runway allows women to rent clothing. Clothing, ridiculously expensive. I know for a fact here, I mean, look, guys, I mean, I can get away with wearing the same suit, don't judge me, all the dang time. Just change the tie, right? I do have more than one suit. You may not notice that. But for women, I mean, they judge at a whole nother level unfairly. And that stuff gets crazy expensive. That's just this business. Rent the Runway allows women to rent the clothes. So that's just one woman. She's one of the big speakers at the event today. It's going on right now. If you'd like to read a little bit more about the Women's Leadership Conference, what they're doing, who they're highlighting, what they're promoting, how to get involved, the story's waiting for you right there. See that story? Last night. It was a late kind of a night. Well, for morning show people, it's a late kind of a night. LSU baseball on the road in Texas. Zeros across the board until the 9th inning when Gavin Dugas steps up to the plate, cranks out a home run. The biggest hit for the Tigers so far in this young season, 3-run home run. That would be it. That's all the scoring. Heck of a way to come back from their road trips into Texas. Of course, they were there for the Round Rock Classic and hung out there for Tuesday's game with the Texas Longhorns. 3-0 the win, so now they're headed back into Baton Rouge. Not bad at all. Speaking of baseball, want to make sure you know this. Southern University baseball also been going at it. They got about 7 games under the belt right now. Have not played at home yet. Yes, they've played over at the Box in Baton Rouge, but that ain't home. They've played the first 7 games away from Lee Hines Field. Today is the home opener. They're welcoming McNeese State, 6 o'clock first pitch. So that should be a lot of fun if you want to get on up there. It'd be fun to get in front of Jag fans up on the bluff. So there you go, WAFB Plus, kind of a little bit of what we're doing for you everywhere that we can put the stuff. Amazon, Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, all that kind of thing. It's, normally when we talk about baseball, Steve, it is, it's those northern teams coming down here and they don't get to play a home game for a while. We saw that actually with LSU. But Southern, a lot of times teams from the SWAC, they'll get out, they'll hit the road real early and play some mega competition in all these different places, and they don't come back and play a home game for a little while. It'd be fun to get up on the bluff.
Yeah, good to have baseball up there and kind of a local matchup with McNeese coming in.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
It is fun. There's some good ball clubs, both baseball and softball, all over Louisiana. And yeah, you want to get out and stretch your legs a bit from teams beyond, but you don't have to go too far to find good competition in Louisiana.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
All right.
Where you going?
So we talked a lot about robots lately, right?
Yeah, well, we did. I don't know if they were good. I'm still a little scared.
I saw one on social media this morning. Actually, they've developed this chameleon-like skin for it, color changing, which is just another way the robots are coming to get us.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I'll have to send that to you. Maybe we use it tomorrow.
So like putting skin over like one of those Boston Dynamic robots, and the thing is just going to change.
They kind of show almost like a rainbow pattern on a wall type thing, and as this robot creeps along, you'll see this outer skin they've developed for it change to match. So the front part of the robot will be green, the middle section's blue,
What the
and
hell?
yeah.
What kind of horror movie are you describing?
Right, so on that, a little different spin on robots. We're talking about elephants this time. All right, Hindu temples in India have a history of using elephants for religious rituals, ceremonies, but environmentalists say many of them are actually chained and beaten and illegally held in captivity. So the Indian state of Kerala is home to hundreds of such elephants. One temple there bucking tradition by mixing modern technology with ancient rituals and using a life-size robotic.
That's a robot?
Yeah, look at that. The animal rights organization PETA in India donated the robot to the temple.
Sure.
Temple is pledged to stop keeping or hiring elephants and other animals for religious rituals, hoping to set a precedent that protects them from abuse. The robot is named Aaron.
Good boy. Good fellow.
Yes.
Big ears.
It's like Aaron Jadapipli Raman.
Nailed it.
And runs on electricity. Yeah, nailed it. Yeah.
Look at that though. It's the ears.
That is crazy.
It's the ears. Look at that's awesome. That's so good. Look at and the eyes even. Oh, the eyes just kind of draw you in, don't they, Steve?
Man, what's going to be happening at Disney with all these robots?
I'm scared. I mean, you're going to go on a ride at Disney somewhere, and all of a sudden that thing's coming at you.
Yeah.
You don't know if this is going to be a good kind of ride, or that's game over kind of ride.
Yep.
I don't know that it's worth the ticket at all now, and they even less at that point when they're coming after you like knife style.
Robots everywhere.
All right. Robots in space. Well, maybe soon. But coming to space very near us, DNA being shot out into space. How would you like to have your DNA handled? Shot out in space?
I mean, that seems like a pretty cool way.
Not bad at all. It's pretty cool. So the DNA of 4 former and late presidents is going to be sent into space. Celestic, it's a space burial company, sending the symbolic remains of George Washington, wonder what he'd think, Dwight Eisenhower, JFK, and Ronald Reagan on this Enterprise flight. Special launch, fittingly announced on February 20th, which was President's Day. DNA samples from some non-former presidents also going to be a part of this trip, and they perfectly fit here. Some former Star Trek DNA, Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry, and Star Trek engineer James Scotty Doohan going to be on this trip as well. As you're seeing some, obviously Nancy Reagan right there, but her husband DNA. Ronald Reagan.
I'm struggling to grasp this concept, the symbolic remains of DNA.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, it's George Washington. I don't think we have.
I don't think we can we get that from the tooth?
I don't know.
From the teeth, his wooden teeth?
I don't know.
Can we get that from some? What was the tree he chopped down?
Well, so regardless, you know what? If time comes and the opportunity was there.
Sure.
There you go. Have my remains go out in space. Pretty cool.
Steve's on board. Shoot him out into space. Would you take I think we've asked this question before. Would you take if it didn't cost $500,000?
Yeah.
Would you take a flight?
I think I would, minus my wife would probably, you know how it is when you have family things. See, amazing thing we take for granted about all these astronauts. We do take it for granted. Mm-hmm. The weight that falls on their, not only themselves, but their families.
Yes.
And, are they going to make it back?
Yeah.
That would be the big thing holding me back.
What's the conversation before you got up in the, to take a flight in the hurricane?
You remember that one, huh?
Yeah, how did that
Yeah, so before I went up in Hurricane Ian for the Hurricane Hunters, I was planning it a few days in advance. Text my wife, say, you going to kill me if I try to go on one of these Hurricane Hunter flights? She texts me back, she's like, no, it's okay. Next text. Just as long as you make sure your life insurance is up to date.
Hell. She ain't playing.
I don't know if that was a joke or not.
It's good. No, I guarantee you it wasn't. Christy, good. Good on you. I remember I did not go up in this flight. I had a chance to go with the Blue Angels. I think I told you this. This is probably 2 weeks before my wedding, and my mom was the first one to phone me. This is a pre-text message. That's how old I am. She's like, "Are you serious? You're going to go up on this thing?"
Yeah, right.
My wife was okay with it-ish. It was my mom who's like, "Are you serious right now? You're going to die before
Come
you..."
on. What are you doing, son?
So I didn't. I didn't go.
When mom lectures you, it's kind of hard, right?
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. All right, let's let folks know a little bit about the forecast to come. Another warm day down here, man.
Yeah, today, tomorrow, still mid to upper 80s. And then we'll get a cold front here early Friday, a few storms with it, and a nice change. The weekend looks gorgeous. Make some outdoor plans if you don't already have them.
You want a new definition for cold front?
What's that?
I don't know. 50, 75?
Look, yes.
That ain't no cold.
I love it.
You're killing me.
The seductive styling of the 2022 Mazda CX-9 elevates your idea of what a three-row CUV can be.
Get 0% financing on a new Mazda CX-9 at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.